for responding to our request, and thank you very much for coming with the team. The background registrar is we got a report from Amnesty International where there is the issue of statelessness, and this committee went around. Well, we would have loved if they come out, but went around the country. But then as we went around the country, we then discovered that there are some areas which we want to present our report. And sometimes we would prefer that as we present our report, it must be factual. We must verify before we just present the report. So there's some areas where we felt you could assist us so that we present a report which is very factual. The issue is regards to migrants, mostly. Those from Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique. I think those are the three major countries. We went to Penalonga, went to Chirezi, we went to Lueo, we went to Midlands, went to Marsh Central. The major areas where we discovered the challenges of these migrants, my colleagues were assisting me, were basically in Penalonga, and these are mostly people Malawi origin, and some Mozambicans who came during the Matanga War. They grew up there, now they've got families don't have certificates or papers. Chirezi was more or less the same, Mozambique. Yeah, but I was talking to the colleagues, but we then discovered we also have children. I don't know, but this is what I'm telling you. There are our people, Shamanis, they go to South Africa to work. They get involved with the South African women. They get children. They smuggle those children. That's what we discovered. And the children are not there. In our country, the children don't have papers. Sometimes these children are married. And once they're married, it means there are no children there. We then went to Bulwell. There is a place, I don't know it, Dr. whatever it's called Sinyoka.
Robert
Sinyoka.
St. Peter's. St. Peter's.
What's the difference between Robert Sinyoka and St. Peter's?
There is a difference. That's why it's in the MP.
Oh, you're the MP? You're telling me, okay. So is it not the two places?
Yes, two separate places.
Okay. We discovered a lot of people, but I suspect those people, they're not foreigners, they're Zimbabweans, isn't it?
Yes.
There's like a Sparta camp. There's schools there, and the concern what that's made these children won't write exams. And maybe the MP who came late can tell us, what is the challenge there?
Most of them, some are child-headed families. Some, the parents passed away, they are left with the grannies, and they're facing different challenges, like go and look for so and so and so and so, so that you can obtain the bed. So some of the parents are no longer there because of the issue of those people who are staying at the squatter camp.
Okay, so what we discovered again, I just let you know, there were complaints that when the president said register people here, maybe just before elections, people heard him say, don't ask his name, just say Johnson. So they are saying on the ground they were facing challenges. And there were allegations that your people who run your offices are corrupt, they are very rude, that they don't explain to these elder people well. So we thought, no, it's not good for us, because I know that the Registrar General is not corrupt, the Registrar General is not rude. So these are the issues we want to just find out, because I'm sure there's a way to how you can address these issues. I don't know from the legal point of view what is the challenge. So those are issues we want to assist each other. If it is an issue of that there's an act, there's something wrong with the act, so that these members can push the issue and it can be rectified. So basically those are the issues. It's just an issue of trying to clarify second point. So that's the main issue. It's not that there's a big deal, but it's that we want to clarify so that we present our report in a way that is understood by everyone, without pointing a finger to anyone. Thank you. Unless I will ask my members to contribute so that when you respond, you hear their views. Doctor?
Yes. I think this other controversial issue, the issue of Kukra-only victims. They are Kukra-only victims. Their children are unable to get birth certificates. And we were told that at some point the president went to Matopo and he said all those children must be given birth without asking any questions because their parents are no more. But we still have those victims as we speak right now. And then we've got people who are blind. In Epworth, we have people who are blind. Their parents have since passed on. They can't obtain birth certificates, such that they are failing to get benefits from social services, from health, from funeral services, and because if you don't have any identification, they will not be able to assist you. And then what else they want to speak about? They said all the victims. Yeah, and then people were saying your office is like hell. It's like hell. People are not being treated with respect and dignity. At times they are threatened with deportations to say, after all, you're a foreigner, I will deport you. And they end up not coming back for assistance, and they stay for a long time without any birth certificates. The other issue already has to do with language. If you go to Bulawayo, you find that somebody who is serving people does not understand the language of that particular area. I remember at times I experienced that. I met a granny and she said, I've been coming here for more than 7 times. And they give me, different information. So it means we are not understanding each other. Zokere and Inzi, we are the next time. They told me to bring this, but now he's saying this is not. I even tried to engage the registrar, say, can you please put somebody who understands? It's a polite way. It's not tribalism. We're saying put somebody who is able to understand the language of that particular area. You can't put somebody and they're speaking in Mashonaland and expect them to understand each other with the people who are trying to get this documentation. So I think it's important that the issue of language is also, and the issue of inconsistencies insofar as your requirements are concerned, because people are told different stories. When you bring somebody who was there when this child was born, and then they bring that person, bring somebody with the same surname. No, but this is a neighbor. She was there when the child was born, and they don't bear the same surname with us. So those kind of things, I think we need clarity on these inconsistencies to say what are the requirements really, so that people are able to get documentation, I think. On the blind, okay, so though in Beru, there was a lady who was mentally challenged, and she died. She gave birth to twins. She was mentally challenged, she died. Unfortunately, those kids as well are mentally challenged. Up to now, they are 16 years old. The mother is Zimbabwean, they are 16 years old. They can't get birth certificates as we speak right now. We saw them, they brought them to our public hearing. We said, here are these twins, 16 years old, mentally challenged. Their mother was mentally challenged, she died, and we don't even know who the father is. And here they are, they can't get birth certificates. And they were supposed to go to school, they can't go to school. They're supposed to get social services, benefits, they can't, health, medical, funeral, they can't get all those because they don't have documentation. I think those are some of the things where as the registrar's office is supposed to be lenient. So, yeah.
Registrar, on the issue of languages, what is happening is I say my name is Albert Ngulule. You write Ngulule. Then I discover later that you made a mistake. I have no R. When I'm trying to come back to correct this, you say pay. That you sound is because of the issue of the language. Maybe the person doesn't understand. So a lot of people are saving their birth certificates written wrongly because of that. Well, the issue of Ukrawundi, I was in the committee, the North Parliament. We went to Balangwe and we saw there was a school where there were over 300. That I want to say the registrar, after we came with that report, went in and resolved that all those kids got their registrations after our report. So it might be there, but I think the issue is when you are coming, because I remember that it was specifically for those people in that area. Maybe it was an issue of communication that people didn't know, that we'd come specifically to resolve that. Because we did that after we went, I was that committee. So I think what she's saying, if it is possible, you must have a deliberate move or saying, how do we, because the president has issued that we should resolve them. And he had said, please, people of that area, don't ask a lot of questions, because there was someone very emotional, say, look, you want to ask me about my grandmother or my father when you killed him. It was very emotional. That's what the president said that. So I think that's another way you can find off deliberately going to those areas. It's not every area which was affected with current, isn't it? And try and help them. So basically, those are some of the issues. It might be a matter of, like they're saying, your offices are not well educated in terms of social etiquette. Maybe that's where there might be a problem, that you need to talk to your people as they hang these people. But those are the areas, some of the issues. So all we want you to take note and also maybe reassure this house what you're going to do about the issue. So that some issues which are mine, which you can resolve, we don't need necessarily to put them in your report, because you'll be working on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. And on behalf of Civil Registry, I would like to thank you for inviting us to this committee so that we can discuss this issue. Yes, I know we've been here with the Permanent Secretary just a few months ago, but this shows how important the subject is to the committee. This is why we are back again, and we also appreciate even the visit which we have done countrywide to assess and hear for yourself what is really on the ground. That also assists us as a department in making sure that where things are not going right, we correct, and where things are going right, because yes, there are a number of things which we have said positive to us, and we should make sure that we continue doing those things in the right manner. Firstly, let me talk of the word which is there in the Constitution, of course, is the word alien, or in the Act, of those migrants who came from our neighboring states, that is Zambia, Malawi, and Mozambique, mostly. And yes, my central, you'll find mostly those who came from Mozambique. And the reason, of course, was because of the disturbances which were there. We've gone into these areas, even in Penalonga as well, to address these issues. And I cannot say, yes, we've dealt with each and every case, but we have tried, and we are still trying to do that. In fact, even during the last mobiles, which we did in 2023 and 2022, especially the 2022 one, which we did for 6 months, we really concentrated on those areas, and those who could be helped on the spot, they were helped. But there were some difficult cases which we could not handle, because normally what happens when we go for these mobiles, especially in the borderline areas, they tell each other, and some do cross to come and say, I've been here for such a time, but yet knowing that he's only been there for six weeks or even less, and upon interviews, they will then confess that no, not me, but of course I've got relatives who have been here and they gave me this information. But we still try, and what we would like to do is, besides the general mobile registrations which we do, we also want to have mobile registrations which deal specifically with such cases, and also specifically with the minority groups who are also Zimbabweans. Like we look at the Bushmen. In Marsh Central, we also have another tribe where they are shy, they don't want to come forward for registration, but we visit them now and again to make these registrations. So yes, we have that in place, and we should already have gone back this year to those areas, but due to limited resources, we haven't. That is in Marsh Central and the Penalonga area. Chiredzi is a similar case. Yes, we have those cases where you have mentioned that the men then smuggled the children into Zimbabwe. And it is the mother, of course, who should be registering. Of course, we've got cases whereby if the mother is not willing or the mother's whereabouts are known, we do register. But we also have the issue of child trafficking, which we have to guard against, especially when we deal with the South African issue. We do lies with the South Africans. And they also claim that those children are theirs, and how do you know that it is your child? Maybe that child was kidnapped from a South African mother who fathered that child was fathered by a South African, and the mother is South African. But how do you know that that Zimbabwean just came over, kidnapped a child, and crossed them to Zimbabwe, and they are now registering that child is yours? So we try by all means to make sure that this child is ours, and we have to liaise with the South African authorities as well. The issue of, there's a place which you said is in Bulawayo. What I can say for now is that I think with my team we have to arrange a visit to that area immediately and assess on the ground. We do have the provincial registrar in Bulawayo, but with the assistance of people from here now, we need to go and see what is taking place. Fortunately, we are planning, and I think we've covered about 90% arrangements now for a meeting or a workshop which we're having with all the district registrars in the country, and this is going to be in Bulawayo on the, I think it's 29th or 30th of this month. And some of these issues, like attitude, Honorable Coupe, which you have mentioned, some of those issues which we are going to talk about. There was a comment on social media one day which I saw someone saying it's like you now have an e-passport, and the people working on the passport side, it's like they are different department altogether.
Yes.
As compared to those in birth certificates and IDs and everything. Yes, when we introduced the e-passport, it was not just bringing in the system, but we also had to do retraining so that we accommodate and include the issue of public relations and everything. So this is one of the issues we are now saying as a department. If this has been affected in this, effective in this section, it has to cover the whole, all sections in the department. And definitely we are going to do that. Honorable Chair, I have always said to the staff, if I have got a wife whom I call she is the best cook. And definitely mine is a good cook. But if when she brings the food to me, she throws the plate on the table, I don't see the goodness of the meal. But it is how the food has been presented to me. So I'm saying, yes, as a department, we might be able to save a client in 5 minutes and off they go. But that 5 minutes, did we handle the client in a human manner? That is the key. So these are some of the issues which we are instilling in our staff to make sure that when we deal with our clients, with the citizens, they are just the same as us. It's only that I've got a privilege to sit on the other side of the desk, but otherwise I'm just like them. So I should not take advantage of being on the high chair and handle them as if I'm handling slaves. So we are trying by all means, and I hear what you said, Honorable MP, we will do as much as we can to make sure that we do correct the situation. Language, yes, it is true that if two people cannot communicate, even if they are talking the same thing, they'll never agree, because they are not understanding each other. So we try by all means to make sure that we put people who know, but also when we train our staff, even if, let's say, they all understand the belly, but as an officer, don't dismiss the client. You don't have the right as an officer to dismiss the client. There is a head of office whom we should refer the case to. And when you send away a client, you must write down why that client has been sent away, so that when the client comes back tomorrow, you know where to start from. And yes, on the issue, Honorable Chair, of inconsistent requirements, as I said, this is part of what we are redressing. It might not be inconsistent at the same office. It can also be inconsistent in terms of offices. You go to Chekudu district, they want these requirements for the same case. You go to Wange, it's a different requirement. Those issues we are addressing, and we do understand what you are saying, but I am committing together with the committee and with my team and with the rest of the members, we are addressing and would like to address these issues to make sure that we assist our clients well. Yes, I know, Honorable Chair, I think Honorable Mashawa asked this question previously when we came with the secretary, that are you just dishing out the birth certificates and IDs because you have to accommodate everyone? When His Excellency said when someone comes and he forgets his name, just give him the name John or Tracy or whatever. All what he was saying to us is, please be lenient to people, make it easy for people, not that we will give them the names, but we assist them properly, but also making sure that we safeguard. This is the key issue when it comes to our registrations. Yes, I should be polite. Yes, I should assist people in the proper manner, but I must make sure that I give a document to the right person who deserves the document. We do have, honorable members, people who don't deserve these documents. I think you've also come across such things. And yes, we have to make sure that we safeguard and make sure that we give these documents, and like a birth certificate, it confers citizenship. When someone is born in Zimbabwe and born to a parent who is Zimbabwean, you automatically are a Zimbabwean by birth. And someone who is a Zimbabwean by birth, if I commit a crime, the only thing you can do to me is to put me in prison. But someone who is a Zimbabwean by registration, you can deport that person after serving the sentence to say, we've had enough of you, go back to your country. So we should make sure, are we really saying this person is a Zimbabwean? If I give citizenship or a birth certificate, I'm saying you can get land, you can become a councillor, you can become an MP, you can become a minister, you can become a president. So also in the department, we need to make sure that we safeguard and make sure that we provide these documents to the rightful people. But in doing so, I do understand, honorable members, we have to treat people fairly with human dignity. And the issue of the blind persons which you mentioned, you said Epworth. Was it Epworth or? Epworth. Yes, I think we need to visit. I'm putting it across to the deputy operations to make sure that if we get more details, we'll visit them at their house to see what is the situation and the address. And the other issue which we would like to do in the coming year is not on, it's about our physically or mentally challenged citizens. We believe, I've had an informal discussion